Hello, my name is Aaron Kirkland. I'll be sharing with you my teaching and learning best practices presentation that I compiled with the help of my collaborative group at my school. One best practice is to set clear expectations. Students thrive on structure. When the classroom is structured, behavior takes care of itself and achievement can then be attained. Students may not tell you that they like a structured classroom, but they really do. And when they know what to expect every day and they know that the expectations are there and the standards have been set high, they will typically try to attain those. So students are going to do what you allow them to do. And when they know that your expectations are high, they typically try to set that mark and attain that mark. Next slide is to summarize concepts using graphic representation. Today's age, kids are just surrounded by technology and just a lot of different methods of media these days. And I believe that using not only auditory representation, but graphic representation to help with the visual learners is a big concept to use in class. Use this in addition to verbal explanations. This, as I mentioned, supports visual learners, and I think that it just really gives students a secondary mode of not only just learning, but also just getting instructions. And when they can hear it and see it, I believe it just really re-emphasizes those things and shows the students the importance of those. Providing constant feedback is a really good strategy. I think that this really helps to, number one, for the teacher to learn more about the student, learn more about their learning, how much learning is taking place, their understanding of concepts. So the more feedback we can get from students and give to students, the more we can learn about their levels of where they're at and how they feel. We can find ways to praise students. I think in education, a lot of times we deal with, negative situations in many cases, but it is so important to find ways to praise students when they do have achievements, whether big or small, to praise them and let them know what kind of job they're doing. And I believe this really builds confidence and helps the student want to achieve more. Differentiating learning times. Students are so diverse, especially in the world we live in right now in our ever-changing times. And many students just learn at different times, different levels, different speeds, and different ways. And it's really important to allow different learning times, offering extended learning time. Many students take a little bit longer to learn the concept, and that's fine. And we need to make sure that we allow for that in a lesson. Also, time to reteach. Many times students understand the concepts, they may miss a few things on a test, and that gives us time to go back and reteach a concept so that we ensure that every student got the concepts before we move on to the next topic. Allowing for group work. Students really love working with their friends, working with their peers. I believe this promotes collaboration. It also gives students a chance to encourage peer tutoring and scaffolding. So I really believe that students feel more comfortable with their peers. A lot of times they're more open or they're more feel more comfortable sharing concepts and discussing topics, and just really builds a good community in the classroom to allow students to work together. Next slide is to construct positive relationships. Building trust definitely helps to build a strong classroom culture. To do this, one way to do this is just to learn more about our students, learn more about their interests, talk to our students, find little ways to discuss topics or find out what they enjoy doing, sports, the band, whatever students enjoy, finding out more about those interests and just having a conversation with students. And I've seen many students open up more and become better students in the classroom when they know that you care about them and you they have that trust built within you, that they will turn the corner and really try to do better work in the classroom, work harder for the teacher. And I've seen this many times, just going to sporting events, going to our students' band concerts, working the dances at school. When the kids see you, they know you're invested, and this really helps to build this positive relationship. Next slide is giving students a voice in the classroom. Obviously the teacher, we have the last say in things, and we have to be structured and we have to set those expectations, but we do need to find ways to give students a voice in the classroom. This can build student ownership, make the student feel like they're part of the classroom, which then can allow for creativity for diverse learners. When students feel like they're trusted and their thoughts have meaning, that really allows for more creativity. And then we can also ask for students to help in the decision-making process. Again, some things are non-negotiables, and as teachers, we have to make sure that safety, things of that nature, are set in stone. But we can find ways to allow students to feel like they're part of that decision-making process, which will build the community in our classroom. This leads to allowing students to have a choice, which also builds that ownership. Ask students how they like to learn. I like to use, this year I tried a student learning inventory and really took inventory in how my students like to learn. And I really, truly learned a lot about my students. First day of school when we took that inventory, it's really interesting to see how students like to learn, and they'll really show you what they like and how they like to learn about concepts in class, which for me as a science teacher is really interesting to see. This also can stir student creativity when you can tap into things that they like and how they like to learn. It allows them to open up more and use their creativity. Giving students classroom jobs. I know, my classroom and every classroom, students come in all different experiences from different learning levels, and every kid is not going to be a straight A student. And I believe when we give students a chance to do something in the classroom, that it really helps them to build their confidence. And it could be something as simple as taking up papers or helping to clean up the classroom at times, things like that. When you give a student a job, it really builds that confidence and helps them feel like they're really part of something. Using technology purposefully, and the key word there is purposefully. Not just as a time to waste time in the classroom or to just to use it for that reason, but as for a purpose. And this is in today's day and age, the kids are surrounded by technology, and in many cases they're better at that than I am. And when we allow students to tap into that skill set, it's amazing the creativity that builds, allowing them to use their imagination. And the biggest thing here, I believe, is the second bullet point, is increasing engagement. I've noticed when we do certain presentations, students do Canva brochures or Canva presentations, and they really use their imagination, their creativity, their engagement goes through the roof, and they really enjoy it, and it feels like it's something they created, not something that the teacher creates. So it really builds that ownership. And here's our reference slide. These are some of the references that we use to collaborate with each other with and discuss different topics and to compile this list of best practices. I'd like to thank our collaborative team, Ms. Bridget Duke, Ms. Barbara McDaniel, Ms. Chastity White, Ms. Stacy Harmony, and myself. This is our science department at Saraland Middle School, and I'm blessed to work with such a good group of people. Thank you.